What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. And in this week's lesson, we're going to take a real quick look how we can come up with some creative 7-string chords. Now, we don't always have to play these big finger-stretching chords. In fact, I find from my own playing that on a 7-string, I can come up with some really nice and interesting chord voicings using smaller chords. So before we jump in, we are in standard tuning. And down in the description below, you can find a link to the PDF or Guitar Pro files. Now let's take a look at some of these chords. Now, a lot of these are just simple 3-note chords with my left hand, mixing in some open strings, which creates a nice textural sound. Really nice chord voicings there, and you can do a lot over that. And I really like finding small little voicing chords with smooth voice leading, right? For example, so we have this first chord, 12, skip a string, 9, 12. Essentially that's our chord, and we're just mixing in the high strings open. And then here, 9's gonna stay the same, 12 is gonna drop down to 10, the 12 is gonna drop down to 11. So we have, you've probably heard something very similar to that before. And then we're going to drop down to the 7th position. Very stable, nothing outside yet. And then here, for that outside sound, we can drop down a half step. Get that sound, right? 6, 7, 5. And I'm skipping the E string, essentially the entire time. And I'm mixing in the entire time. And you know, as you can hear, you can take time with this, you can make variations between the two, you can come up with rhythmical patterns in the right hand that kind of fit your progression and whatever you want to hear. You know, in this example, I was every other chord letting the high string ring out. And here you can see that instead of going up to the high string on this chord, I don't go past the open B. Like that. Here. And again, I don't go past the open B there either. You could. And again, it all depends on what you want to hear the sound of. And then at the end, I just threw a little turnaround chords just to kind of wrap it up. And they're kind of ugly. At least that first one is, because we're playing that 4th fret, kind of out of key, out of tension, or adds tension here. So all I'm doing there is 4, skip a string, 5, 5. That's a very tense chord. And then mixing it in with the open strings. And then here it's more of just a regular old major sound. Octave on 6, 6, 8, and then 7. Skipping that 6th string again. And then stepping up to the same chord here, but in 8th position. 8, skip a string, 9, 9. And there you guys go. All right, real simple ways to come up with really creative chords without hurting your left hand or learning some really expensive, complicated chord. Small voicings, smooth voice leadings, and open strings for textures. Okay, so down in the description below, you can find a link to the PDF and the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.